Hey everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. In today's episode, we're going to be studying a piece by the career 3D artist known as Ryan Hawthorne. And in this episode, we're going to be looking at this clear sense of harmony here. We're also going to explore the sci-fi inspired series known as Ventures. So let's jump right into it. So at first sight, we're met with 9 thin planes placed in center space. It's almost as if we're witnessing a digital genesis occurring before us. And so the placement of pretty much all the elements in center certainly draws our eye within the work. This is reinforced further by a light on dark accent. Of course, that dark midnight backing allows that to shine to the densest degree possible. And so colors within this work really consist of a unique mix of purple and blue. And we see this, right? They kind of blend into one another and of course shine back at us here. This is what we call an analogous scheme. So it feels quite ordered and harmonious here. And so another thing you may notice is the impact of visual rhythm here. We see this quite clearly, right? Each plane is placed quite evenly spaced from one another there. This, of course, gives us a very ordered and harmonious sense of visual rhythm. And so on that topic, perspective is placed in perfect center here. You may notice that this is a symmetrical scene. So we see this, right? It is split across a vertical central axis, and it pretty much is perfect symmetry. The only thing that throws that off is this lone subject there. The presence of symmetry always gives us a harmonious, ordered, and balanced visual experience. I think we certainly see that here. And with that in mind, how do y'all feel when you view this piece? Do you feel this sense of harmony? What are y'all seeing here? So the work before us is pretty abstract, right? We know that the principles of abstract design, the absence of any set symbolism is going to inherently elevate the visual impact of things like form, rhythm, color, texture. So many different things are allowed to speak when we don't have any set symbolism here. And with that in mind, we see this lone subject sitting on the left side of the composition here. The title of this work is On Edge. Certainly draws our eye to the status of this single subject. And with this in mind, who is this subject or why are they here? I think that's a pretty interesting question to ask. The setting of this work is quite strange, right? It looks like a simulated space of some kind or another here. And of course, scenes such as this were once reserved for the rhyme and myth of fantasy, but now it's just part of our daily digital lives. So that's absolutely stunning, and I love this work. I really hope y'all did as well. It seems as if our subject is sitting in a simulated space, although it's hard to say for sure, right? And on that topic, of course, I want to ask y'all, what do y'all see when you view this piece, or what do you think is happening here? I think that's an incredibly important question. So the work before us is part of the series entitled Ventures. I have a bit of information about this series, and then we're going to take a look at 2 additional works from that series as well. Alright, so I went ahead and brought in the original description that Ryan Hawthorne gave for the series entitled Ventures. We're going to read this real quick, and then we're going to look at 2 additional works from this collection. So the artist says here, Ventures is a personal series exploring light, form, and perspective, inspired by the user interface designs in classic films like 2001: A Space Odyssey, Star Wars 4-6, Blade Runner, and more. I set out to bring a similar style of minimalist graphics into 3D, adding a sense of scale, depth, atmosphere, and tiny figures. And we certainly see that here, right? You have this, of course, minimalist graphics, but also a sense of scale, depth, atmosphere, and especially that lone subject as well. So that's really nice. That, of course, is the Ventures series inspired by so many different scenes of science fiction. We're going to bring in 2 additional works from that series and see what we can learn here. Alright, so I brought in 2 additional works from the Ventures series here. We're going to see what we can learn. Of course, the work on the right is most similar to the piece that we studied today. Of course, you have these prisms, you have these tracing rays, and even a lone subject exploring it all as well. And in the work on the left, it's actually a piece that I studied in the very early days of the Apollo Art Exchange. We have 2 subjects here who are viewing this massive scene here. Of course, you have that kind of simulated space, no doubt, and it clearly is inspired by science fiction, just as he said of the Ventures collection. All 3 of these works use the impact of light in a dark space so well, captivating, charming, even ethereal and magic in that sense as well, and we always love to see it. So Ventures is no doubt a very impactful series. I've seen a lot of different people love this series, and I surely do myself. Alright, so really hope y'all enjoyed today. The work before us is a digital render, so it's created with a digital rendering program. That program is going to be Cinema 4D with some additional assistance from the Octane render engine. So, of course, incredibly realistic and does such a good job of immersing us within the simulated space before us. So, really hope y'all enjoyed today. We talked about so many different things: the impact of symmetry, the impact of color, the sci-fi inspired series known as Ventures, the realism of the digital render, so many different things we hit on today. today. I truly hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all enjoyed today's episode, make sure to check out the original artist, Ryan Hawthorne, really a career 3D artist at this point, doing some amazing stuff in the medium of the digital render. So, like I said, I really hope y'all enjoyed today, and if y'all did, go check out the original artist. My name's Apollo, this was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.